football and horror, this should be a good combination, right? Right? Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of Him. Him is a new psychological sports horror film directed by Justin Tipping and produced by Jordan Peele, and this film stars Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans. In Him, our main character is Cameron Cade, played by Tyreek Withers. He's an up-and-coming football player whose career was about to end after an injury until he gets an opportunity to train with his idol Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans, a legendary aging quarterback who invites him to train at his private compound. Then Cade starts to discover more sinister things underneath. Before I get into my review, any new viewers coming across my channel for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am Jack Benner. I do movie reviews on here, both old and new. And from time to time, I do some lists on here, either a top 5 or ranking video. So if you're looking for either of those, you're definitely in the right place. So you like movie content, like what you see so far, definitely considering that like and subscribe button for more exciting movie content down the road. The first teaser trailer to Him, that was one of my favorite trailers I have seen this year. And after watching that trailer, that instantly got me excited. And I loved how it started off like a motivational Gatorade commercial to something more sinister and disturbing, along with an interesting concept. And you got a juicy, serious role for Marlon Wayans, who, yeah, he's known for comedies like the first 2 Scary Movies and other pieces of shit like White Chicks or Little Man, oh god. But he is capable of giving a great dramatic performance. Look at Requiem for a Dream. And like I said earlier, Jordan Peele is producing this movie, and I know there's a common misconception around this movie that Jordan Peele is writing and directing this movie, but he's not. He's only a producer on this movie, and he is well known for establishing himself as a new master of the horror genre, such as films like Get Out, Us, and Nope. And he's also had a helping hand as a producer in movies such as BlacKkKlansman and Monkey Man. And I do love Peele back in his Key and Peele days and what he's become as a writer and director. I love Get Out, one of the best directorial debuts I've ever seen. And I liked Us and Nope, even if I don't think those movies reached the same heights as Get Out in my opinion. After I saw the trailer for Him, it was one of my most anticipated horror movies of the year. I was just super excited, just the amount of potential this movie had, and even if I was concerned about the negative reviews going in, I still went in open-minded, opening night, just hoping to enjoy this movie, and maybe this will be a unique horror movie. Unfortunately, it saddens me to say, Him was a massive letdown. This movie was a waste of potential, of an interesting concept. What could have been a distinct sports horror movie ended up being a shallow, weightless, and complete style over substance movie that I really didn't like it. To start my pros, I do think the 2 central performances from Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans, those 2 actors do their best at elevating something out of this material. Tyreek Withers as Cameron Cade, who this is the first film I've seen him act in. I know he was in I Know You Did Last Summer recently. I thought he did a decent job at playing a devoted football player who later has his world turned upside down when he discovers more disturbing things at the compound. I do think he brought great physicality to the role as a football player, and he does have some potential in the more emotional scenes of the film, which leads me to believe he does have potential for better roles in the future. But what I think is the best thing about this movie is Marlon Wayans. And this is definitely one of his better roles he has done in a long time. Wayans unleashes his charisma, energy, and zaniness in a go-for-broke performance, and he does try to give an entertaining balance of charisma and unsettling. And Wayans does continue to show his acting prowess, what he's capable of as a dramatic actor when he steps out of his comfort zone with comedies. And I thought Withers and Wayans had good chemistry together, especially in the early training scenes. I really liked their banter together. And I thought with their scenes together, it could have been an entertaining never meet your hero story. The cinematography here, this movie looks amazing. There were some beautifully framed shots that I admired, and some color choices that I thought looked appealing. And with Justin Tipping's director, he wasn't much of a Jordan Peele copycat as I feared from the trailers. There are some horror moments with tension and suspense with the atmosphere that I did thought worked very well, that does show his potential as a filmmaker. And that is where I cease my praises, and now let's get to the cons. First, my largest flaw with Him, this movie, is style over substance. On paper, this should have been a unique sports horror movie, not only intense and engaging one, but could have had enthralling themes about sacrifice and greatness. That and tackling other themes about sports culture, celebrity status, and religion. But the problem is, this movie was borderline over the top with its style and presentation that it heavily gets in the way of those compelling themes. It just really wants to go for a deeper story underneath, but it just goes way over the top in trying to be scary, and with the metaphorical imagery that doesn't entirely land to where it's not thought-provoking enough for me to be engaged. I would love for a movie to make me think and delve into deeper more, but this movie didn't really have much to offer for me. This movie kind of just felt surface level, where after I'm watching this movie, I'm like, what am I really supposed to take away from this movie? I felt like I didn't really get a whole lot. It just frustrated me that I couldn't get the impact with the story as much as I was hoping for, to where the narrative just feels so underdeveloped and wasted potential of an interesting concept, to where it doesn't delve into its interesting themes as much as it could have. And one technical aspect I hated about this movie, I couldn't stand the editing of this movie. There were times with the editing, like one training scene, that was so distractingly choppy that was just cut like every 5 seconds that it honestly drove me nuts, and it was just so distracting throughout this movie that with its over-the-top style, I just couldn't stand how this movie was edited. And not only does the story fall flat at being style over substance, it doesn't really offer much with character development. And it's sad to say we got a dull main character here. I think Tyreek Withers does a decent job acting with what he's given to do, but I felt like Cameron Cade was a bland main character, where I felt like there was little interesting about him. It's not really his fault, I blame the writing. All really is offer much with his commitment to football, that and giving him a tragic backstory with losing his father, that it just doesn't really do much to make him a fully fleshed out or sympathetic main character to get behind. And it's especially sad with what he's experiencing at this compound. I just don't really find myself attached to his character that much. The writing doesn't really offer him that much to do. Instead, we just get a bare bones and a pretty boring main character. And I felt like this movie was wishy-washy on Isaiah White. Again, I thought Marlon Wayans did a great job and is by far the best thing about this movie. But with the writing for his character, I felt like they had two different ways, but they couldn't really choose which one. Whether they wanted to make him a psychotic and unhinged antagonist, but I felt like that got in the way of more depth with his character to make him more three-dimensional. And there is a scene at a sauna where he's talking about his glory days as a football player, and I felt like there was something there, but I felt like they focused more on him being an unhinged villain, that it just kind of got in the way of a more compelling villain. I felt like it would have had a better balance of both of those. I felt like it couldn't have that entire balance of a fun and entertaining villain, but also one you can get behind at the same time. It just couldn't do that. To sum up, even with Withers and Wayans doing their best at attempting to elevate this material and the cinematography looks amazing, him was a colossal disappointment that was way too style over substance, where it lacks any interesting depth or enticing themes. Even if you're a fan of both football and horror, I wouldn't recommend you out going to see this movie. I'd say just wait for streaming or rental. It just saddens me with the great potential this movie had. We could have had something special here. But in the end, I was just frustrated and baffled by what I just saw. I really wanted to love this movie after I had so much promise, but the more I'm thinking about this movie, it left me more and more frustrated, and it's honestly one of my least favorite films I've seen this year. Easily one of my biggest disappointments of the year. And now to grade it, I'm going to give him 1.5 star out of 5, a D+. I hope this fall can pick things up for the horror genre. We got The Black Phone 2 coming out this October, which looks awesome. Can't wait for that. I really hope that's better than this. This was just wasted potential. And if you want to see a more intense thriller that has an engaging story and more character depth, go see The Long Walk. Or if you want to see a much better horror movie with more interesting characters to focus on, has a better structured story, and it's more engaging, go see Weapons if you haven't already, because this just didn't do it for me. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about him? If you've seen it, do you agree, disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it, or interested in seeing the film or not, let me know down below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? Want to see more reviews like this in the future? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here, and don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. My social media links will be in the description down below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and if you'd like to see my written reviews, I do have a letterbox, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.